Cheap borescopes, do they work? We're going to be looking at that today. The first borescope I ever bought would have been in the early 90s, and it was this ProVision 100. It didn't work very well, and the biggest issue with it, like most borescopes, is it just didn't put enough light into the cylinder. And several years later, on kind of a whim, I bought this one. Now it uses this little device, it plugs into it, connects your cell phone through the Wi-Fi, has a small camera on the end of it. So let's look at a few pictures and some videos I have taken with this setup over the years. Okay, so I believe this is a picture of a small block Chevy. You can see the top of the piston and the valves there. Now I have the same problem with this that I have with the other one, and that is not enough light. But what I usually do is use a Steelman 10150A light, because it has this small stem on it, and you usually can feed this down into a spark plug hole into a cylinder and then come in with your camera. I've got some pictures here of a 1.5 liter Ford in an Escape. It had about 700 miles on it, brand new car, and I'm not sure what happened on it. Ford wanted the engine back and shipped us an entire crate engine for it, so I never really got to tear it down and see what happened inside it. Okay, and I believe this is from a Ford Expedition with a 4.6 or a 5.4. I think the story on it was it had been sitting for a couple of years without being driven, and then they decided they were going to get it running again. Well, they got it running, but it was using oil, and I think maybe even possibly missing on a cylinder. So we went in with the borescope and looked at it, and I believe you're looking at where the cylinders were all rusted from it sitting and not running. And then they started it, and the rings and pistons sliding by have kind of polished it, but you can still see the pitting on the cylinder wall where it was rusted badly before. Okay, here I think we're looking at an intake valve, or the back of an intake valve on a 4.6 liter engine. I believe I was going down through the injector hole on that one. Okay, and in this one I think you can actually read the top of the piston. You can see it's got a 30 over piston in it. Okay, and I believe this one is a small block Chevy. You can see the top of the piston and the valve there. And it's really kind of crazy how far the cameras like this have came in the last 10 years, and I think the biggest reason behind that is just probably cell phones. They keep making the cameras so much better on those all the time, and because of this there's a lot of work and research and development and a lot of money spent on making smaller cameras better and better. Okay, and I believe the model is a YPC HD 720p. But like I said, this is probably 4 or 5 years old. I don't even know if they still make this model. The thing that I think really makes this work well, though, I mean, is the light. I've got a couple of these things actually, but yeah, you can get a light in some crazy small places that you just otherwise wouldn't be able to. And getting light in there is about 90% of it. I think any camera really will work for the most part if you can get a light in there. So, and like I said earlier, this is a Steelman model 10150A. So I wanted to spend a few minutes and share this with you, because for the price of this and the amount of time it can save you on an engine, this thing is pretty hard to beat. I like this setup because I can just take pictures on my cell phone with my cell phone. I can text them, I can email them, I can use them in a video like this. I can also take video with it. If you liked that video or found it helpful, please click the like button down below. Share us on Facebook or Twitter. We've got some more great stuff coming, so please subscribe. And as always, have a great week.